This episode is brought to you by Anivia Pickleball, your premier destination for high-quality pickleball pals designed to elevate your game. At Anivia, they are committed to providing players across Canada with innovative, performance-driven pickleball paddles crafted for durability, precision, and ease of play. Irene and myself are currently using their Gen 3 Pro paddle, and if you head over to Anivia.com and enter the code AGorman15, you get 15% off your order. That's AGorman15 at Anivia.com. All right, on with the show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Pickleball Diaries podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Gorman, and joined, as always, by my partner in crime and certified pickleball referee, Victor Chan. And as you can see from our backdrops, Vic's is in the process of moving, so he's got nothing to show anyways. I'm in a hotel because I had to be away for work, but we had to get this episode out because we are edging closer to the season finale of the CNPL and closer to Nationals and closer to the World Cup, so we had to get this episode out. So we were like, okay, screw it, we're doing it. So we apologize in advance if maybe the video gets a little choppy or if our voices get a little choppy. We'll see post if that happens. But we want to get this out to you guys as quick as possible. So, as the title suggests, this is the recap of the CNPL Central split that happened about a week and a half ago now. Before I get into that, Vic, how's the packing going?
I think for everyone that is listening right now, I guess you better enjoy this last episode that will be in Alberta because basically I'm leaving. I am down to less than 12 days in Edmonton, so I'll say the next time you see me on the podcast, I will be fully in Ontario, somewhat.
Yeah, and it'll probably be blurred back in again because there's no way you're going to be done unpacking by the time we do that episode.
No, it's gonna take a while before I unpack everything there. Oh,
Yeah.
man, there's so much stuff. I have no idea
Yeah.
how much time it's gonna take me.
Actually, now that we're talking about, let's be realistic. If we're talking about how things are probably going to work wise, we're probably going to have to do like a 3-episode like mass record because we'll have the CNPL season finale to talk about. We'll have the Nationals to talk about, and by the time you're probably up and ready to go, probably the World Cup will be over.
Somewhat, exactly.
So we might be either that or we'll be recording on like the Sunday night or something like that as the World Cup ends, and then by that time, the World Cup will be over because of course Vietnam is so far ahead of us in time wise. But there might be a massive episode drop the week after the World Cup is over for everyone. You might get 3 episodes like bang, 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 bang. So before we get into the event itself, there was a couple of trades that have or drop. There's some drop and sign or trades. They kind of worded them slightly different each one, but and it was it was kind of the Smash taking advantage of, I'm assuming, trouble in paradise in some places, because they traded Xavier for Ernesto to the Lions. And this is not a shot at Xavier. He's been having an insanely good season, but that's a bit of a leasing.
Yeah, a lot. I heard a lot. Even in commentating from this week, last weekend, they're saying, okay, how does this trade even like approve? What's going on?
Exactly right. And then the other one is they also traded Mark Clemenson to the Rapids for Lucas Wong. Now that's a little bit more of an even trade, if we're being honest. But even then, it's like you're basically having the first and second place team trade swap players. So you gotta assume it's down to chemistry because both teams are playing well.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That's
so there's
weird.
got to be
weird. Why?
Yeah. But so it was a little weird, but obviously with that load up by the London Smash, you now have Ryan Torrenson, Ernesto, and Lucas as your three males. Like that's a
Oh yeah.
stacked male roster. And as we go through the event here, it's gonna also show that they already had an insanely strong women's team with Anne Sophie and Abika, how well they've been
Exactly.
playing, and now this and honestly the men's were playing well with Ryan and Xavier and Marks before, but now it's like you basically like it's like Mario, you hit the one up or the power up
Yeah.
mushroom or
Well, at
something
the same
like.
time, I think Smash is also looking for the future, right? We know Ryan just signed for, the PPA contract, which he'll be able to play his last the remaining event in CNPL, but he won't be able to play in next year anymore. So kind of Smashes has to make a trade to make sure they're gonna be able to be staying competitive for next year by losing Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you want further commentary from Ryan on that, as part of our Meet Team Canada series, which will actually come out, we're recording this on Sunday. That episode with Ryan Torrenson for Meet Team Canada will be our first of our mini series. That comes out 5 p.m. Monday. So it'll already be out by the time this episode posts, because this episode will probably come out on Tuesday. So if you haven't seen that episode, go over and watch that one. That's a really fun episode that we have with Ryan there. And then there's actually here we'll might as well announce it now. So two other players that got signed to PPA was Jordan Vigna
Yep.
of the Detroit Windsor Drive, and also Bruno from the Rapids also signed a PPA contract. So both of those players next year will also be not able to play in the
Available.
CNPL because of the exclusivity contract that PPA enforces with their signed players. So a little bittersweet that we're losing some really high talent there, but also that's kind of what the CNPL has kind of always been, is kind of like a I don't development league doesn't sound right enough. Like it's a good
Jumping
league,
board.
but yeah, the jumping off point for a lot of the players, especially if they're able to go down to the States and play full time
And I
there.
think I think there will be even more that will be jumping the boat coming soon. I'm expecting some sort, either Amon, McConnor, or Jada could probably jump the ship. Especially with how some of them did well in their Seattle the challenge. Is this Seattle Challenger or what?
Yeah. Armand just won singles in Seattle. And Jada, I think it was the one before Seattle. Jada won singles gold, and
Mm.
also and finished really high in mixed as well. So, but yeah, so they've been playing really well. Now, I know Jada's gone and done stuff with APP, so I don't know if she has a contract with them, and maybe that works. But I know she's gone because I know her and Ernesto have gone to Asia with APP before.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's going to be interesting. You're going to see some players do PPA, some players stick with APP, and if you're with APP, you can still play in the CNPL because APP and CNPL are
Yeah.
partners, right? So it's going to be interesting to see which pros do which. And actually, if you want a good, same thing, going back to that interview with Ryan Torrenson, he gives a really good explanation of why he chose PPA over
Yeah.
APP. And when he gave us that explanation, it made perfect sense.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
So it has a lot to do with where the player is, like in their not just their professional life, but also their personal life. Right. Because but yeah, we'll get you guys to watch that episode because Ryan goes into a very good description of why he picked what the way he picked. So
Definitely.
Hey everyone, we want to give a big shout out to one of our sponsors, Cling Pickleball Compression Wear. They're a Canadian-based company that is made specifically for pickleball players by pickleball players. I personally love their compression socks. I use them all the time when I'm in tournaments. However, they are also the designers of the CNPL Northern Lights jerseys, which you can get at their shop. Irene also loves their ladies compression tops, and she wears those when she plays in the tournaments as well as the socks as well. So head on over to clingpickleball.com and check out what they got in stock for you. Back to the episode.
anyways, on to the central split itself, which was at the London Smash facility. So the usual, so production-wise, video came through really good. There was no power outage this time, which I know happened at the Lens Mesh facility before. Not their fault. There was like a big storm. The only usual complaints we have with that facility, it's a little dark,
Yeah,
at least
exactly.
for camera-wise, and it is a little bit narrow on the courts there, at least as far as
The side court.
professionals. Yeah, especially
Yeah.
on the sides of the court, especially as far as professional standards
Yeah,
are
I
concerned.
would like them to just take off the post and just like take off the fence on the side at least, maybe. just
Yeah,
for
problem
the
is you on
event.
the one side, on the back end, you have that wall there. So
Yeah,
you're
that's
gonna,
true. The wall's not helping either.
yeah, right. So, but it is what it is. The players have played in that facility before. They adjusted to it, and you saw there were certain shots you saw that were finishing shots that probably on a bigger sized court probably wouldn't have been finishing shots.
Hmm.
But you're playing to win, so if you have an angle that you can use to finish off a rally, you're going to take it, especially at the pro level, right? So,
Yeah.
aside from that, as usual, great commentary by Sarah McNeil, and she had a bunch of guests hosts because I know Reese George wasn't available that weekend. So you had members from different teams come and commentate and stuff like that, which was really good because you got to hear like live reactions to like players reacting to their opponents and how they're playing and stuff, and them complimenting each other.
Yeah.
So it was good. So we'll go right into it. So day one, first game of the weekend was the York Yeti versus the London Smash. And it's funny because this was a clean sweep by London, and the scores look like it was a blowout. But if you actually watched the game, the rallies in this were insane. It's just the Yeti were just coming out on the wrong side of a lot of the rallies. So Ryan and Lucas take out Brad and Mikkel 21-12. And Sophie and Abika win 21-16 over Audrey and Tara. Ernesto and Abika beat Brad and Audrey 21-14, and then Ryan and Anne-Sophie win 21-17 over Kyle and Tara. So if you look at just the scores
It's
and you
actually
didn't
pretty
watch the
close.
games,
Yeah.
yeah, the 16 and 17 weren't bad, but the 12 and 14 look bad. But when you watch those games, it was like there was like some 30 plus hit rallies in
Nice.
those games, and it was just the Smash were able just to get the finishing shot.
Mhm.
And in rally scoring,
Yeah.
when that's happening, it's hard to catch up because it's not like regular scoring where if you're having rallies like that, sometimes you can grind out
Yeah, you can
points
catch. Mhm.
and stuff like that. But with the rally scoring, if you lose the rally, you lose a point. Like it's just one of those things, right?
Yeah.
And then so London Smash play back to back. So then it's them versus the Vancouver Owls. This was an insanely fun match to watch. Armand and McConnor win 21-17 over Ryan and Ernesto. Then Anne, Sophie, and Abika come back and beat Kelsey and Anna 21-18.
Okay. Oh, that's
Then
pretty good.
Ryan and Anne Sophie win 21-19 over
Wow.
McConnor and Anna. And then Armand and Kelsey win 21-16 over Ernesto and Abika, forcing a tiebreak. So we go to the tiebreaker. It was Ernesto versus Armand, Ryan versus McConnor, Abika versus Kelsey, and Anne Sophie versus Anna. The Smash pulled that out 21-20.
Oof.
So super close even in the singles aspect. Nobody really was able to get an upper hand on anyone. I think everyone took turns winning points off of each other.
Wow.
It was just a really, really like the doubles matches, and then the singles tiebreak was just, this was probably one of the funnest matches to watch the entire weekend. But the Smash pulled it out with get the 3-2 win there over the Owls.
Nice.
Next game we have the York Yeti versus Detroit Windsor Drive. Lots of close matches in this one, but the Drive do sweep at 4-0. Men's match, Brad and Mikkel lose 21-18 to Nick and Miles. And then Tara and Audrey lose a tight one, 21-20 to Alexia and Jordan. Then you have Miles and Jordan over Kyle and Tara, 21-19. And then Alexis and Evan, 21-18 over Brad and Audrey. So
Yeah.
super
Just
close
tight.
match. Both of these teams needing wins here because they're trying to catch the lights.
Yeah.
And this is one of the matches where you kind of have to, if you want to keep yourself even remotely alive in that playoff hunt, because every other spot aside from that last 6 spot is already locked up.
Yeah, exactly. Indeed.
Right. All right, then we move. So the York Yeti playing back to back. They get the Vancouver Owls. York Yeti make a change on the men's side. So Kyle and Mikkel back together. They win 21-15 over McConnor and Armand. So I don't know if they were just feeling hot because they just played, or if but then again it's typical Owls where like Armand and McConnor
Yeah,
just
that
beat
up and
Ernesto.
down,
They
unfortunately.
just beat Ernesto and Ryan.
Yeah.
And this is not a shot at Kyle and Mikkel, but if you're looking at realistically
Yeah, it's
which team on paper is stronger,
and
Ryan
and
or Ernesto
and
would be the
and
stronger
we
team.
I think we still have that we have that discussion again. It's like the Owls have been just up and down nonstop during this season. So that makes makes them actually really tough to.
It's really tough to get a reading on them, like how they're going to perform, type of thing.
Yeah, it's like sometimes like does Armand perform or does McConnor perform or one of the does the one of the ladies perform or they're just completely off and we can forget it about it this matchup, some kind of things, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then on the women's match, Tara and Audrey win a tight game 21-19 over Anna and Kelsey. That was a very, very good match. So Yeti up 2-0. But then on the mixed side, the Owls storm back. McConnor and Anna with a 21-15 win over Brad and Audrey. And then Armand and Kelsey with a 21-16 win over Kyle and Tara, forcing a tiebreaks. So in the tiebreak, you had Brad versus McConnor, Kyle versus Armand, Audrey versus Kelsey, and Tara versus Anna. The Owls take this one pretty handily, 21-11. Especially with Anna took care of business against Tara pretty handily. And Kelsey and Audrey was kind of a wash back and forth. McConnor did overpower Brad, but McConnor and Armand are like the two of the best singles players in the entire league. Kyle held his own decently against Armand. Brad was always stealing at least 1 point, but McConnor was consistently winning like 2-1 against Brad.
Well, especially Armand just won the PPA challenges Seattle. Like that shows he's pretty dangerous in single.
Yeah, exactly. So Owls take that 3-2. And then the final game of day one was the Drive versus the London Smash. And this one, the Drive start out strong. Miles and Nick taking a 21-19 win over Lucas and Ernesto.
Yeah, I watched this match. I can give my takes after that.
Yeah, and then but then the Smash come out flying in the next 3 matchups. Anne-Sophie and Abika beating Jordan and Alexis 21-13. Ryan and Abika smashing Miles and Jordan 21-7. And then Lucas and Anne-Sophie winning 21-15 over Evan and Alexis. So Smash take that 3-1. So at the end of day one, the Smash were 3-0, Owls and Drive were both 1-1, and the Yeti were 0-3.
So yeah, I watched the last match. Miles was playing with who? Sorry, Miles and
Miles was playing with
Nick.
Yeah.
Nick,
yeah.
Right? And
yeah.
I saw that one was very good. Like the Nick and Miles actually exploited. I think Ernesto and Lucas may not play a lot together. There's so many center ball has been missed on those on that match, and I saw you like the Miles and Nick just exploited right away. That was a great win for them. And then the other three, yeah, unfortunately, it's kind of expected what's gonna happen. The Smash was a little bit much more stronger than the Drive on those three matches. It was kind of expected. It was just how Miles and Nick did handle themselves really well on that men's double matches.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into this episode. We want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Kitchen Blockers. Me and Irene are sponsored by these guys, and if you're watching the video right now, I'm rocking their new red pair. These are safety glasses for pickleball players, made by pickleball players. They're lens-free, which means zero light refraction, zero frog, scratch-free, sweat-free, and gives you full court vision. If you guys head over to kitchenblockers.com and enter the code AGORMAN10, you can get 10% off your order. Thanks again for Kitchen Blockers for supporting us and this podcast. Back to the episode.
Then we move on to day two. So the first game of day two was the Drive versus the Vancouver Owls. So Miles and Nick versus McConnor and Armand. McConnor and Armand take that 21-18, so a nice close match. And it's funny because, so I think it's Miles, Nick, or it's Miles and McConnor and I think Armand are all like good buddies. Like they play against each other all the time. And I remember saying that I always kept on seeing Miles in the singles divisions whenever
Yeah.
McConnor and Armand would go down. So I think they all know each other that way. And you could see a little bit of that how they were reading each other's shots.
Yeah.
So there's like counters to counters to counters, which was a fun match. And then Anna and Kelsey beat Alexis and Jordan 21-14. And then the drive switched things up here. They had Alexis play with Miles against
Okay.
McConnor and Anna. I know they're trying to change stuff up to see, but Alexis and Evan have been playing together the entire season. And you could really see,
I saw that. I saw that
especially for
match.
especially for Alexis, she wasn't sure what she should be taking and what she should be letting Miles get.
Yeah,
It just looked like
exactly.
a
And
very
same for the other side. Miles was like, "Oh, am I taking or am I not taking?" There's a
yeah.
lot of you can see there's a lot of confusion on that match.
Yeah, it was very like it was like an uncomfortable watch, and then of course McConnor and Anna just took advantage of that and won 21-16, and it was still 21-16, so not horrible, but there was a lot of rallies where Alexis and Miles got into trouble because they weren't sure who was taking what or how much so and so was taking and stuff like that. So I understand why the driver trying to switch stuff up because of course they lost a couple of games there, but sometimes you just have to stick with what's been at least consistently, if not winning, but at least keeping the game super close with Evan and Alexis. Mind you, Evan didn't play a lot this weekend, so I don't know if maybe he's nursing an injury or something because he didn't. They left Miles and Nick for almost the entire weekend.
Yeah, they just
Yeah, so and
we
now
haven't
I
seen
understand.
Evans at all.
I
That was
understand
weird.
playing. I understand playing the hot hand because they did win their first couple of
But
matches and had really
and I
close.
yeah I agree letting Nick and Miles to go together because they were able to, like you can see some moments of shyness from those two.
Yeah,
They're actually like really like they're racking up like 3 or 4 or 5 points at the same in a row like very
yeah.
quickly, and that makes them dangerous, right? Especially in rally scoring, being able to do that. So I agree, but like Evans and Alexis has been playing so well together. Like, and you're sticking Miles in there. Miles like, oh, what am I doing? What am I supposed to take? Right? There's a lot of things.
Yeah, exactly. Now, and so they were already down 3-0. So, like, obviously the Owls are winning. Now, Evan and Jordan did come in and win 21-18 over Armand and Kim. That was a really good match, but you could, like, it's one of those things where you're playing it, but you can tell the team that's won is semi-checked out
Yeah,
a
exactly.
little bit. Like, and that's not saying that Evan and Jordan didn't play well. Like, they played really well and they won the match, but at that
But
point,
they
it's too little, too late type of thing.
exactly.
Then here's another thing that you're going to notice when I say the next two matches, because the Vancouver Owls ended up playing back to back to back because they switched up because they were supposed to have the last game of the day in their game against who was it? In their game against the York Yeti was supposed to be the last game of the day, but that actually became the third game of the day because they were trying to catch an earlier flight out of Toronto to get back to Vancouver. Anyways, the second game of the day was against the London Smash. So you're hoping for almost a repeat of what happened the day before. This one, not so much. The Smash came out, and you could tell it was a back-to-back game for the Owls. Ryan and Lucas came out 21-12 over McConnor and Armand. Anna and Abika came out 21-11 over Anna and Kelsey. Anne Sophie and Ryan 21-16 over McConnor and Anna. And then Lucas and Abika 21-13 over Armand and Kelsey so the Smash with the 4-0 sweep. And you could see that the Owls, like after playing the drive, just did not. They couldn't kick it into
Maybe be
next
a little
gear.
tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, and I'm going to jump to this, even though on our notes, Vic, it has this as the last game. This was actually the third game. It was the Owls versus the York Yeti. Because, like I said, the Owls played basically 3 games in a row. And I think they kind of like refocused again because McConnor and Armand come out 21-17 over Kyle and Mikkel. Now, Anna and Kelsey did lose 21-20 to Tara and Audrey. Super close match. I think Ann and Kelsey probably should have taken that, but Tara and Audrey were just like relentless to tie that game up and then get the winning points.
Nice.
So shout out to Tara and Audrey for that. But then Kelsey and Armand come out 21-17 over Mikkel and Audrey, and then McConnor and Anna 21-17 over Brad and Tara. So semi-close matches, but the Owls handle their business and win 3-1.
That's a good
Then
win. That's a good
yeah,
win for them.
yeah, it was a good win, especially bouncing back after that
Oh,
kind of
They
laying
need,
a dud
they,
against the
they
Smash.
definitely needed that win.
Yeah. Then you have the Detroit Winter Drive versus the York Yeti, so a rematch of that day before. This one was a lot closer. So you had Evan and Miles. So Evan coming in for the men's, 21-19 over Brad and Mikkel. But then Alexis and Jordan, Audrey and Tara win 21-20 over Alexis and Jordan. So now you're at 1-1 apiece.
Yeah, that was a very close match.
It was a very entertaining match too.
Yeah, it was could be either way. It's just like and just who gets the last point. But like it took a while before it gets to the last point too.
Yeah, and then Brad and Audrey win 21-19 over Nick and Jordan. And then to force the tiebreak, drive go back to Evan and Alexis, winning 21-18 over Kyle and Tara. So we go to the tiebreak. So you had Evan versus Kyle, Alexis versus Brad, Nick versus Audrey, and then Jordan versus Tara.
Interesting.
And this actually worked out really well because Nick kind of stole all the points against Audrey. Evan consistently had Kyle, and then Jordan and Tara was very, very close, but Jordan got kind of the best of that. So the drive ended up winning 21-18 to take the 3-2 win. So drive winning both games against the Yeti, and this actually got them up, and they're both at the same record right now. I think they're both at like 4-18 now for the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge.
Yeah. Oops, I lost my page there. And then the final match of the day was the Smash versus the Drive. And aside from the women's match, this was pretty much a clean sweep for the Smash. Ryan and Ernesto come in 21-16 over Nick and Miles. And honestly, it was like 20-12, and then Nick and Miles just kept on getting a couple points because of the freeze type of thing.
Because of the freeze, yeah. They went in a very quick start, and you can see Ernesto and Ryan will just dial in.
Yeah. And then Anna and Abiko win a close game, 21-20 over Alexis and Jordan.
Yeah, that was also very entertaining match, and they got stuck in that 2020 for a while too.
Yeah, and then Ernesto and Abika, pretty easy win versus Miles and Alexis, and same thing. They still looked uncomfortable together.
Same thing. Yeah, basically Miles is like still questioning is he taking or not.
Yeah, and then because the Smash already had a 3-0 lead, they subbed in Sophia Rasin to play with Ryan for the final mixed game, and her and Ryan won 21-19 over Evan and Jordan. So the Smash sweep that 4-0. So with the final results there, so the Smash go 5-0, the Owls go 3-2. The Drive go 1-4, and oh wait, no, that's not right. 2-2. No, okay. 2-3. I don't know why I had it typed that way, because they beat the Yeti both times. That's why I probably put that wrong on when I posted it too.
Whoops.
I apologize to the Drive for that. Drive go 2-3, and then the Yeti obviously 0-5. So with the season,
let me take a look on the.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're both 4-18 because the Yeti had one more win than the Drive coming into this thing.
Just for fun.
One second, I'm gonna pull up the standings on the CNPL website. I apologize for the fact that I missed that. All right, let's see. 18. Yeah, no, sorry. The Drive now leapfrogged the Yeti because the Yeti had.
You put 1-4 for the Drive and 0-5 for the Yeti.
Yeah, and they should have been 2. They should have been 2-3, not 1-4, because they beat the Yeti twice.
Mm-hmm. So you're
Yeah.
missing a match, basically, isn't it?
No, I had them as
2 and 3. Yeah, 2 and 3.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it should have been 2 and 3, not 1 and 4. So I apologize to the drive for that. So with that, so then the drive are
Should be above the Yeti then,
yeah,
right?
they're going to be above the Yeti. So the Yeti are 3 and 18. The driver, or sorry, 3 and 19. The driver 4 and 18. Okay, so we'll start at the top, and then just because, and I apologize now in advance. That was me being tired and not taking my notes properly. So the standings after all the splits now. So we just have the season finale coming up. So the Smasher 18-4, first place.
Yeah.
The Rapids and Toronto United are 16-6. I think the Rapids have the tie break right now, though. And then both the Lions and Owls are 11-11, and Lions have the tie break right now for that. The Lights are 9-13, Driver 4-18, and the Yeti are 3-19. So that means that Smash, Rapids, Toronto United, Lions, and Owls all have a playoff spot locked up. The Lights do not yet. However, if
Just
the
need one win,
Lights
right?
the Lights just need one win. If they win one, because I
Yeah.
think even if they only win one and the Drive go undefeated and tie them, the
They
Lights
have
will
the
have
tiebreaker.
they'll have the tie break. So same thing. So basically, the Yeti and the Drive need to go 6-0 at the season finale to even have a chance of making the playoffs.
Ouch.
Which, if we're looking at how the season's been going, obviously not super likely, but technically, mathematically, they're both still in it.
I see.
But it's kind of a foregone conclusion. Now, the Lights, the way they've been playing, do have a chance to possibly leapfrog the Owls and Lions if the Lights play very well and the Lions and Owls don't. If the Smash play the way they've been playing, they should keep first place locked up. Toronto United does have a good chance to pass the Rapids and get that second place because remember, the top 6 teams make it. First and second place get a bye out of the
Right.
first round of the playoffs, and then 3, 4, 5, 6 playoff for that in that first round. So
your 1 and 2 is very important, basically.
yeah, 1 and 2 are very important, and the person who will tell you that the most is Ernesto, because he's enjoyed that bye the last 2 years. Because I remember sitting when they was in Edmonton, I remember him talking to me. He goes, "Oh, that bio was so important." He goes, "Because we can just sit here and relax, let them beat the crap out of each other,
Exactly.
and then be fresh as a daisy." And of course, it's worked the last 2 years when he was on the Lions. Now that he's on the Smash, it's just as dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of it for the split. It kind of went sort of the way we thought it would. We knew the Smash would be the team to beat. We knew if the Owls played their game, they should at least we said they should go at least 3-2. They might be able to go 4-1, but at bare minimum should go 3-2.
Mm-hmm.
So they had that one really close game where they went to the tiebreak, but they pulled it off. They beat the teams that they needed to beat to keep themselves in the hunt. And then the Drive and the Yeti, we knew they were going to be in tough, and they had to at least take out each other. The Drive did their job, beat the Yeti both times.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're a little bit closer, but we knew both teams were still pretty close to being mathematically out, unless one of them went on some random tear that
And still,
was.
but the problem is they still have to hope that the Light lost, right?
Yeah.
That's
No, yeah, they basically had they had to go at like a 3-2 in this event, to then give themselves a better shot. But the fact that one went 2-3 and the other one went 0-5, it wasn't enough. One of them needed at least 3 wins.
Yeah, then
Right. So
that's a little more tough.
So, some news that was announced after, and the reason why this is coming out today, because me and Vic wanted to wait until the August 11th, because that's trade deadline day.
Mm-hmm.
So the Rapids, since they got Mark Clemenson, they released Darrin Wang. And this kind of makes sense, at least for me, for a standpoint, because Darrin is kind of a right side specialist, and you just picked up Mark Clemenson, who is a right side player,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I understand why you don't really need two right side players, right?
Me too.
So they dropped Darrin and picked up Luca D'amico. I apologize, Luca, if I'm saying that name
Yeah,
wrong.
that's Luca.
Luca got picked up midway through the season last year and played very, very well. He's a more aggressive player than Darrin as well. So I'm interested to see what the Rapids do. I'm assuming you're going to have Mark and Bruno play together for the men's. Obviously, Bruno and Christine Salvez, or Marie Christine Salvez, sorry, for the one mix. But I'm interested to see if you use Mark or if you use Luca for that second mix spot,
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
right? With Antoinetta. So it's going to be interesting with that. And because Darrin got dropped by the Rapids, the Lights.
Pick him
Um,
up.
they picked him up. They technically dropped Corey. Now Corey, we know this from listening to people, is going to be kept on as kind of like the head coach,
Yeah.
which he kind of was being. He was kind of like the player coach already. And they're picking up Darrin. I'm interested with this pickup because um, Ben and Jake have been playing really well as a men's team. It's been on the mixed side where they've been having where Jacob's been not playing quite as well with Jess, playing a little bit better with Louise, but that's been kind of the slightly weaker spot. But the men's hasn't really been an issue. They've been, if not winning every
Yeah,
match,
the
they've been
yeah
in
the
every
the men
match.
yeah the men's is actually pretty solid. So is it did they pick up for the mix or
Well,
what
yeah,
was their
but
plan?
and Darrin hasn't really played any mix this year. He's been playing pretty strictly the right side in the men's match, and then whoever's the other two males have been playing the mix now. So it's going
Yeah.
to be interesting. I'm interested to see what the Lights do with this. And also just might be picking him up as a safety net. Say if someone's not playing well, then you have someone who can go on. Because of course Jacob and Ben can both play the left side
Yeah.
in men's. But I'm interested to see unless Darrin has previous chemistry with some of the female players that we're just not privy to because we're not from Ontario.
Mhm.
Right. So maybe he's played with Jessica a lot, or maybe he's played with Louise. I'm assuming he hasn't played with Louise that much because Louise has only been playing pickleball
Yeah,
for
Lucy
less
is pretty
for less than a year.
pretty.
So
Mhm.
like, and it's amazing how good
Yeah.
it's amazing how good she's gotten. Like when she only switched over. Like I remember when I interviewed her, she said, yeah, only like 9 months ago, and
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, God, you've gotten stupid good, stupid quickly.
But at the same time, I think I interviewed Sophie, Jada, and Louise, they're just good friends then from
Yeah.
tennis, so they
Yeah,
kind
they
of knew each
basically
other
grew up in
quite a bit.
tennis together and then transferred over together. It's basically they all kind of
Yeah,
convinced each
follow
other
each
to
other
switch.
exactly.
So no surprise there, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the Lights how the Lights use Darrin. It's a good pickup regardless. He's an insanely good player. But just because he's a right side player, or usually more of a right side player in men's, it's going to be interested to see, and
Yeah,
also if they use him for mix, because like we haven't seen him play mix all year. I think he's played I think when he was on the Rabbits, he just played right in the men's. So,
okay, interesting.
but
We'll see.
there's another
More.
player drop for the Rapids who are in second place. So I don't know what's going on with the Rapids, if there's team chemistry issues or what. But you had Lucas leave, you've had Darrin leave now. Um,
Yeah,
and for a
because
team
they have
for a team that's in second place,
that they're
yeah,
so good
you
at the record.
you got
Why
to ask the
change it up?
question you got to ask the question what's going on over there, right? So, but and then so yeah, and then but yeah, it is what it is. So we'll kind of see what it is. But yeah, the Lights are making a push to jump the Owls and the Lions. So the Lions and the Owls have to be very careful that the Lights that they
Yeah,
can
don't
keep the Lights
leapfrog
off
them.
because you want the more favorable advantage come playoffs time. Like you're probably not going to catch the Smash Toronto United or the Rapids unless one of them have like a really bad weekend. But
That's gonna be tough now, not
yeah,
having Ernesto. That was kind of
yeah.
their
And like we said,
captain.
Xavier's been playing insanely well when he was on the Smash. Like he basically kind of took over the starting spot for Mark Clemenson for how well he was playing.
Hmm.
But now it's like, okay, has Xavier played with like Christina before? Has he played with Luis Charles before? Like, has he played with any of those players before to make the adjustment, right? So it's going to be interesting. Or are the Lions going to bring Michael McCaffrey to
Oh,
the
that's
next event
true.
because they are playing in Vancouver, so And
That's true.
McCaffrey's been playing really, really well. Like at the last event, they were at him and
He won
yeah,
gold in mix.
him
Yeah,
and
he won.
Andushenko beat Armand and Kim Layton. So McCaffrey's been playing really, really well. He's kind of just been kind of biding his time as
Yeah, he's waiting.
as that secret hidden weapon, right? So it'll be interesting to see seeing how they're going to be in Vancouver, anyways. If the Owls, not the Owls, if the Lions use him. So that'll be very interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. More to follow.
Yeah. The other big announcement that the CNPL released is they already have season 5 schedule released. They don't have
Nice.
locations yet, but they have the dates. So and so now they've switched it. So now there's 5 majors and a playoff. So what the majors means is basically all 8 teams are competing. So there's no more splits where only 4 teams are playing anymore starting next year. All 8 teams are going to be competing in every single event they have. I think the
Nice.
reason for this was because they had to switch up the Central and Eastern split, because technically last weekend was supposed to be the Eastern split, not the Central, and they flipped the two of them, I think because one of the facilities wasn't ready in time or something like that, or because they moved to the Atlantic Pickleball Club or whatever it was. But because of that, I think more so just so players know when they're playing.
Yeah, because like this time Ernesto actually, when I interviewed Ernesto, he said, well, he was with the Lions at that time. He's like, oh, I was not supposed to play, and then when he got traded, he's like, oh, damn, I need to play now.
Yeah,
And then he's
exactly.
got
Yeah, exactly, right. So it's
yeah,
it's one of those things that it doesn't matter if you get traded, it doesn't matter what team you're on, you're always playing those weekends. So you just make sure you don't have anything else in conflict with those next year, right? So it
exactly.
it, it makes it easier for scheduling for the team owners, makes it easier for scheduling for the players. So it just makes it easier for everyone all the way around. So the 2027 season 5 schedule, first major, the season opener will be on May 1st and 2nd.
Yes.
Um, and all of these are going to be spaced about 4 weeks apart. So then you have time to basically recalibrate and adjust and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Major 2 will be on May 29th and 30th. Major 3 will be on June 26th, 27th. The fourth major, July 24th, 25th, and then the season finale will be August 21st and 22nd. I have a really suspicious feeling that hopefully Pickleball Canada and the CNPL talk to each other and made sure there was not going to be a scheduling conflict next year, because um, as much as we give Pickleball Canada crap for scheduling the Nationals the same time as the CNPL finale, the Nationals have been, at least in the last 4 years, typically on the last weekend of August.
Yeah.
Right. So I think the two, because of all the backlash, probably both have received from it. Like I know we gave Pickleball Canada a little bit more crap because it's the bigger organization technically. But it is issues on both sides of both companies not talking to each other. I think they finally just talked to each other and said, "Hey, like let's do this because we know that the pros want to go there because it's one of the few events in Canada that they can go and showcase their skills on, aside from the provincials of whatever province they're in, right? So it's
Yeah.
it's one of the few where they can all compete against each other, and it being more so for this is more the bragging rights and we're showcasing ourselves to Canada than just pro side of things, because obviously there's no money involved with nationals or provincials, right? So I think that's a good decision with that. Like I said, it frees up that spot. So now hopefully you'll be able to go play in that, and then probably nationals would start. So if it's August 22nd, so nationals are probably going to start on the 23rd, 24th ish to
Mhm.
whenever the weekend is. So that's good. And then playoffs will be the 17th and 19th, or 17th to the 19th of September. And like we said, no locations announced yet. Um, and they've already said all 8 teams in action. So by the sounds of it, we're not getting any expansion, which is unfortunate. Because honestly, like just like we said before, looking at the pros in Canada that aren't signed, you have enough for at bare minimum 10 teams.
Yeah, I know.
I would
In
even
that,
say 12.
I'll say, you never know. It's during the down season, you might
Yeah,
we might get some more investor and stuff like that. We're
yeah.
all for anyway. So
Yeah.
I'm optimistic.
I'm optimistic as well, but and to be honest, I'm interested to see if you only get one more team, if they do 9 teams, or if they wait and say, okay, well, we want 10 to keep it even, but
exactly.
just for scheduling purposes, you know what I mean?
Obviously.
But I heard some rumblings of possibly something in somewhere in BC, possibly looking at getting in on it, but that's just kind of like water cooler talk right now. So
Yeah.
we'll kind of see, because Ontario's kind of filled up. Now Ontario has so much spot that you could, but we need some more teams out west, because right now it's just the Owls, right? Like,
Yeah,
if you put
that's
it this
true.
way, if you were going to expand to 10 or even 12 teams, you almost want all of those, or if not majority of those, to be out west. And to be
Yeah.
honest, we have there's enough what we would call rich people around that you could at least have another one in the greater Vancouver area. Edmonton should have one. Calgary should have one. Um, but yeah, and anywhere from Vancouver all the way through to like Kelowna, Chilliwack, all those places, like basically all of Lower Mainland BC, you could at least get 1 or 2 more teams in there for sure.
Yeah.
And there's so many
Hopeful.
good and there's so many good players in just Lower Mainland BC and Alberta, that you could even just pick a local and you'd have an insanely good team.
Well, like I'll say if Edmonton, Calgary can get one, but like just get one in Alberta.
Yeah,
Someone
one in
please
Alberta to
get one,
start. And honestly,
please.
if you're gonna start one in Alberta, I'd say stick it in Calgary. The main reason why is because if you're gonna pick local, majority of our pros right now live in Calgary.
True. And
There
it's
is
a
there
bigger,
is
it's a also bigger airport, so it's easier too, right?
yeah, bigger airport, so it's easier if you're going to host an event. You also have some bigger facilities there that can host an event.
Mhm.
Because realistically, if we're looking right now in Edmonton, if you're going to host an event, until I see what the new center looks like, to be honest, it's probably, if I'm talking court size wise, it'd probably be YEG. And then maybe
Yeah.
the new center once it's opened. If we're talking about, like, if you want pro size courts
Yeah,
type of
but
thing, right?
I really doubt the center really want to host anything. That's the thing.
No, yeah, but that's on the other
That,
side of things.
that
That's not.
that's another story later on.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey everybody, we want to give a shout out to our sponsor Tyrol Pickleball. I'm holding their Velocity V shoe right here. It's the orange and teal one. It's awesome and I love using this on the court. So for a pickleball shoe that delivers stability, breathability, comfort, and durability, head over to TyrolPickleball.com and enter AGorman20 at checkout to get 20% off your order. We want to give Tyrol a big shout out. Thank you so much for supporting us. Better grip, better balance, better game, designed for the way pickleball is actually played. Back to the episode.
So that's pretty much it for CNPL. Now, because this will probably be the last full episode before Nationals and before the World Cup, we have lots of Team Canada news.
Oh yeah.
So obviously this is coming out roughly Tuesday, Wednesday. So we're already going to have one episode of our Meet Team Canada mini series. Our first episode is going to be with Ryan Torrenson. It dropped at 5 p.m. on Monday.
Nice.
We already have 6. At the time of us recording this, we already have, I want to say, 7 or 8 episodes already recorded and up and scheduled to go up on YouTube and Spotify and all that spot. They're at the moment, because of how many we have, they're coming out every second day. So it'll be like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Tuesday, so on and so forth. Now, if we get everyone we can possibly get, I might start sticking stuff in between because I'm going to run out of time. We're going to run out of time before the World Cup starts. But as of right now, with what we got scheduled, we have, so it'd be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, then Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and so on until we get all the way. I tried to get all the open players, or all the players who are playing on a CNPL team, all of their episodes up before the CNPL season finale. We already have a bunch of the senior players interviewed as well. We have a couple more. The only one that might be a little bit late is, it's by the sounds of it, I'm going to be interviewing Rob, who's the captain of the senior team, probably in person at Nationals. So that might be one of the late ones coming up, but that's okay. Maybe when he's playing Senior Open, so hopefully he like medals and I can get him like right after he gets off the podium or something like that.
Nice.
So count on you, Rob. So yeah, so that's So that's the first part of the Team Canada stuff. We do have a quick team change on the senior side of things. Marjeet is no longer available. I don't know if it's a scheduling conflict. I don't think it was an injury by the sounds of it from what I've heard from people, but it sounds just maybe like a scheduling conflict or something that came up. So Amy Walker is going to be taking her place. If you're saying that last name sounds familiar, she is the mother of Angie and Alex Walker, who are
There you
PBA
go.
pros.
Mhm.
So it runs in the family. Amy also just came back from the BC Provincials. She got a silver in the Senior Open, and the team she lost to is her Team Canada teammates, Maggie Murch and Susan Anderson. So the entire team, the entire female side of the Team Canada senior team is the gold medalists and one of the silver medalists of the Women's Senior Open. So very, very good players, and they are all familiar with each other. So
Yeah.
team chemistry right there. We have to bring up a shout out to Apollo Pickleball for
Oh yeah.
stepping up and getting the juniors going. We do have one of our other specials that we did was the I'm blanking on the name. What did we call the thing, Vic?
What, Clink or what?
No, where you interviewed companies. Canadian Spotlight.
Oh,
Jeez.
Canadian Spotlight. Yeah, with
Yes.
with TJ. TJ is
Yes.
the owner of Apollo. I was lucky to actually meet him again in Edmonton. He said, well, when he Maria find out he reached out to TJ. TJ is like, yeah, well, let's do something for them. So yeah, big thank you to TJ, and he's really much involved in the Canadian pickleball space. So definitely big shout out to those pickleball Canadian pickleball company just looking after the Team Canada.
Yeah, absolutely. And shout out to Maria because Maria also went on Instagram and did like a bunch of stories where she basically voiced her opinion on
Mhm.
the issue. So shout out to Maria with that. Shout out to TJ with Apollo for stepping up and helping the juniors get there. If you want to hear more about TJ and Apollo, go back and check out our Canadian Spotlight where Vic interviews him.
Yeah,
It was very
he's a local from Edmonton. So if you're in the Edmonton area and want to support the local pickleball brand, Apollo is definitely a good one to go. And they just released one of the their new paddles, the MK47, which is the Maria cooking us,
Yep.
the 47. Pretty good paddle. I'm still in my testing phase. I can give you my final thoughts on it. At the moment, what I can say is it is a Gen 4 paddle, full foam. It does include those clippable weights on it, so you don't need to buy additional clippable weights if you want to add weight on the paddles, which is a perk. And like all Gen 4 paddles, it takes a little time to actually break in because like when I hit first, I was like, oh, that paddle is so stiff, and then it takes like maybe like 2-3 games to get to loosen up, and then starting to feel okay, yeah, this is a much playable paddle.
Exactly. And yeah, and that's kind of the case with all Gen 4 paddles, especially if they got the foam in them. You kind of have to beat them in
Mhm.
for a bit there. So yeah, once again, shout out to TJ and Apollo. Shout out to Maria for making her voice heard with that. That was amazing to watch on the social media pages. Um, so after that, so now we have of course the junior players going, we have our seniors going, we have our open team going, and
Yeah.
just last night or 1 a.m. our time, 2 p.m. in Vietnam, they did the draw. They did the draws for the pools.
Hmm.
So Canada is in Group N in the open category. So in their pool, it's Canada, Costa Rica, Trinidad and Tobago, and Laos.
Okay.
Um, and I think when they were doing the duper ratings, now of course 1, 2, and 3. So 1 was Vietnam because they're the host. 2 was U.S. and then I think 3 was China. I think because they had the gold medalist and like the bronze or silver
Uh,
medalist or something like that.
Something like
Um,
that. Let me double check.
when they did the original rankings. Actually, I think I have it on my phone here. I don't know why I'm guessing when I can just look up pictures because I screen grabbed a bunch of stuff. Yeah, open category here. So yeah, USA, Hong Kong, China, and then Portugal. So you
Okay,
had
there you go.
the host country gets the first, Then you had the champion get second, silver medalist get third, and Portugal get fourth. Canada was ranked sixth, right after England. England and what they went by the combined duper of the two top males and the two top females.
Okay, gotcha.
For the dupering, and they went up to like 5 decimal spaces for
Okay.
this. So England beat out Canada not by much because they were both 5.7. England was 5.778. Canada was 5.719.
Damn.
On that. So Canada ranks sixth, but they got in. So they were the first team in Group N, and like we said, Costa Rica, Trinidad and Tobago, and Laos. And if we're looking at the rankings for the top 32, so Costa Rica is 31st, and Trinidad and Tobago and Laos are both lower than that.
Nice.
So Canada, obviously the clear favorite for Group N, which not really a surprise seeing how they finished sixth. And then of course they're going to do the pool play, and then the top 2 teams from each pool make it. And then they do the round of 32, round of 16, round of 8, final 4, and so on all the way through. Canada making it to the round of 8, of course, last year, and losing out in that heartbreaker tiebreak.
Yeah,
against Portugal.
Yeah.
And then our senior team is in Group B because they were the
bronze medal, right?
Yeah, bronze medalists last year, and then for their category, they were ranked second because surprisingly, Vietnam does not have a team in the senior category.
Interesting.
Mind you, that's actually not surprising.
It's not surprising because it's too.
A lot of the Asian countries don't have that many senior teams because it's been in reverse of North America, it's been an insane youth movement.
Yeah, exactly.
In a lot of the Asian countries, right? So USA is ranked number 1 because they're the champion. Canada ranked number 2 as the bronze medalist. And then it would be Australia, France, South Korea, and then Spain rounding up the top 6. So because of that, Canada gets placed in Group B as the second highest seed, and then they get Belgium, China, and Bonaire.
China's going to be rough.
Yeah, China's a little bit rough, but mind you, China's ranked 30th if you're going just by duper for seniors. Remember, this is seniors, not open.
That's true too.
And not juniors, Vix, because if you're looking at the duper difference, then once again, this is the top 2 males and top 2 females, not combined, average duper. China is only at 3.89, whereas Canada's not even listed because they're second overall. But I can tell you right now, Canada's above 5.
Okay.
Right, because I know Rob is over 5.5. Corey's hovering right around like 5.4. And then Maggie and Susan and them are all above 5.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. So that's China there. And then who else did I say? Belgium's 14th. They're 4.46. And then the other one was Bonaire. Bonaire, where is Bonaire? I don't think they're in the top 40. Oh no, there they are. They're 31st, so they're just below China at 3.83. So
okay.
Canada's still favorite in Group B.
Definitely.
If you're wondering how many groups, I'll go back to, so the Open has A all the way to P.
Oh shit.
Or for
yeah,
and then senior has A all the way to J.
Okay. Yeah, that's significant, almost half less.
Yeah. But I think that's a lot more than what there was last year in the senior, because I think there's a lot, like I said, a lot more. There's a couple more Asian teams that weren't in it last year for North America, or when it was held in the U.S. And then we jump down to our juniors. Now the juniors only have 4 groups, so A all the way to D, and that's also because there's now a kids division as well, which I want to say is like sub 14 or something like that. So there's groups in that. Now obviously we didn't put a kids team in because we have just the junior team, right? And then
we had just enough money for the juniors, so
yeah, we had just enough. Well, and I don't think we were looking at putting the kids in. It's funny though, because so Canada finished 4th last year. They lost in the bronze medal game in a tie break to India.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, now it goes by duper rating, and like I said, average duper rating of the top two guys and the top two girls. So first is Vietnam because they're the host country, US second because they're the champion, and then India third because they're the bronze medalist. After that, it's Australia, Brazil, and then Canada.
Interesting.
So Canada's actually ranked 6th. Now I can tell you right now, at least from one of our players, it's I want to say it's probably the female players that are a little bit lower. I think just because they haven't gone to as many events as the guys. Because I know for a fact that obviously Jacob is like 5.7 or something like that.
Exactly.
So we already know Jacob is like really bringing up the average, and then between Monroe and Chayton, they're both at least, if not 5, they're super high 4s. I'm pretty sure they're both 5 though, because I know they both played in the Open in BC, and
Yes.
Chayton is playing in the Open divisions at Nationals.
Yeah.
Right. So, and this isn't a shot at our junior girls. It's just I think it's just less tournaments is what it is. And it's funny. So like if you go once my interview with Maggie Murch comes out, she actually mentions that we don't have enough junior girls like that 12 to 13 in development right now in Canada. So that's an issue right now
Yeah,
for
it's not easy.
development of Canadian juniors. Right. There's a lot. It's pickleball is one of those sports where there's always twice as many guys as there are girls. Right. And which is an issue.
Yeah, and
But
especially for the junior category. I think for the senior category, it's almost 50-50, but it's like in the junior category, just so tough. Just so tough
and
to get.
and to be honest, as a father of both a boy and a girl, it's easier to get boys into something to go try it than it is for girls. For girls, it seems to be if they don't know someone who's playing, or if they're not familiar with someone who's playing, it's not as likely as they're going to go in. Whereas boys will just be like, yeah, I'll go play with whoever.
Yeah, that's true.
Type thing, the type thing, and then I think it's just one of those things. And I've noticed it with my daughter for signing up for different sports in comparison to like my son and other people's kids as well. So, but yeah, so yeah, our juniors are in Group B. Unfortunately, it's the same division as the U.S. and Chinese Taipei.
Ay, ay, ay.
And then the other team is the Northern Mariana Islands. So that's kind of, if looking at the groups, that's kind of the group of death.
It's not
And
gonna be easy.
it's not gonna be easy. Because like I said, if we're looking at that now, Chinese Taipei is only ranked 10th, and then the Northern Mariana Islands are ranked the lowest. So I'm gonna feel bad for them because they might get spanked by these other 3. But once again, Chinese Taipei is listed at 3.92. I have a feeling that's gonna be 1 or 2 of the players who maybe haven't played a lot of tournaments, and they're gonna have 1 or 2 players who have been playing a lot of tournaments on the junior side. Kind of like how our team is only 4.61, whereas realistically, I think it's a lot higher than that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So they're in tough because obviously the U.S. is in the pool. So you got to think the fight is going to be for first and second between Canada, U.S., and Chinese Taipei. Because same thing, it's the top 2 teams from each pool make it. Now, because there's a couple of pools in that only have 3 teams and not 4, I think after that it goes by record, or it goes by points differential and stuff like that for those final couple of spots in like the round of, because that would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So for the round, because there's only 12 teams, so I'm guessing they go right to a round of 8.
Okay.
Oh, actually, no. So it might only be the top 4 teams or the top 2 teams, or it might be the top 2 teams for Group A and B, and then Group C and D. The top team makes it, and then probably between those other 4 teams, it's whoever has the best record or the best point differential. I'm thinking. Because they're playing one last game in the round robin, right? So
yeah, we'll see. Sometimes they're a little weird. Sometimes they just do it a little bit differently. So
yeah, I'll have to do a deep dive because I know the Pickleball World Cup announced exactly how they're doing it. Like they put a video out. So I'll have to go back and do that, but we can recap that when we do the recap of the World Cup itself.
Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, so super excited for our teams. We're getting closer and closer to it going. Me and Vic are between me having a crap ton of work before I head to nationals, and between Vic packing up and moving, it's been a little bit challenging to schedule some of these interviews. Because I think me and Vic only did the first two together, and then everything else has been you've
Yeah,
done
we have been
someone, and then I've done a couple on
exactly.
our own.
Oh,
So it's
you're done more than me because I'm
yeah.
much busier, unfortunately.
Well, and just happened to work out a couple of times, worked out better for me because usually when we're doing interviews, I'm the one whose schedule is causing issues, and you usually have to do the interviews by yourself. But it just has worked out the last couple that or the last few that we've been able to do it. But yeah, so we have a bunch of like if so this is coming out roughly Tuesday or Wednesday. So at that point, we're either going to have one or two episodes of our mini series out, Meet Team Canada. So the first two episodes, Ryan Torrenson and then Anne-Sophie Courteau. After that, we have Louise Kwong and Jada Buey. I got the both of them in the same episode, and then Matthew Kawamoto and Corey Osborne in the same episode. So basically got two for the price of one. And for some reason, my recording was a little weird, so it's only recording one of us at a time as we talk for those two episodes, which annoyed the crap out of me. Fix the issue after that. After that, we got Vic interviewing Ernesto. And then after that, so far I've got, of course, Maggie Murch from the senior team, Susan Anderson from the senior team. Like I said, I do have schedules coming up with Amy Walker, Rob Chrismanic, and Tim McVinney. We got those coming up. I just haven't recorded them yet. And of course, Vic's got Jacob for our junior team coming up. I'm still working with Coach Carolina of the junior team to try and get some of the other juniors on. So far, just timing hasn't worked out, but there are going to be a couple of them at nationals, so maybe I'll get a couple in-person interviews while we're there, because I know Chayton's going to be there, Audrey Savard's going to be there. I think maybe one or two other ones. I haven't checked the full roster of everyone who's showing up, but I know for sure those two are going to be there.
Nice.
So, but yeah, we're gonna try and get as many of the players on as we can, so you guys, can put a face and voice to the
Yeah,
names.
definitely.
And doing our part as much as we can. We are working to possibly be able to stream all the Canadian games for you guys on our YouTube channel. We're in the process of working that out with Jason White, who's like the social media expert for Team Canada. He's also the guy who is behind him and his crew are behind all the camera stuff for the CNPL. And he's also the co-owner of the Northern Lights team. So we're working with Jason to see if he can have two cameras up and then send it to us, and then we stream it live. Obviously, the streaming times will be early in the morning.
Yeah.
Possibly start time 11 p.m. at night, or as early as 1 a.m. because of the time difference in Vietnam. The one good thing about that is it's a little bit easier for me to do those because I'm not too many of my jobs are overnight jobs. Cool. So I do have the 5th and 6th off, though, which works out really well because that's when the finals are. So guaranteed for sure I'll be able to do those, but hopefully we can get that set up and we can bring you guys all the games on there, because I know they are. I know certain games probably will be streamed, but it's probably going to be similar to Fort Lauderdale, where it's maybe the one or two courts are like the grandstand, and they're going to be streaming on either the Pickleball World Cup website, or I know last year they had it on the Kitchen.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, we don't know.
I don't know if the Kitchen's doing. I don't know if the Kitchen's doing it again. But
yeah,
I got a feeling I got a feeling it'll probably be on the Pickleball World Cup YouTube channel. So I'm assuming they'll have championship court and maybe a grandstand court, depending on what the facility looks like.
Yeah.
But at least I'm assuming they're going to do that. We'll find out more as it gets closer, but we're going to try and get you guys at least the Canada games for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully yeah, as much as we can, and hopefully they're not all playing at the same time, so it makes it easier for us to or for at least easier for Jason to get the cameras to each game. But yeah, looking at because they do, I'm gonna post the schedule up right here because they have announced the schedule. So for example, Thursday, the group stage for Open 8L, so we don't have to worry about that because the Open for Canada is N, so that'll be 2 p.m. Vietnam time. So 2 p.m. Vietnam time would be 1 a.m. Alberta time. And that's group stage for the Open, but it's also group stage for the seniors. So the biggest thing with that is if they're playing at the same time.
Yeah, then
are we going to be able to get both? So it'll be Jason and Yui and them's discretion of what games they send us.
Mhm.
Friday we have let's see, the seniors round of 32 is at 10 a.m. Vietnam time, which would be, I'm gonna say that's like 9 p.m. or something our time, the day before.
Mhm.
So we actually might be actually, the funny thing is, so we might be doing something at 1 a.m. to like say 11 or 10 a.m. on Thursday, and then coming right back at like 9 p.m. For
Ay,
the
ay, ay.
for the for the Friday start for Vietnam. Because seniors are going all the way to, because they got 10 a.m. round of 32, then they have, that's branch one. So they're breaking it into branches. So it depends on what branch our seniors are in. So if they're in branch one, they're going to be 10 a.m. If they're in branch two, they're going to be at 12 at noon Vietnam time. But if they're in branch one and they advance, they're also going to be at noon. So branch one might, geez, they might be playing all day. And then branch two of the round of 16 will be at 2 p.m. So Friday's going to be busy because the juniors, so juniors, open, and seniors all play at 2 p.m.
Mhm. Right.
and at 4 p.m. and at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. time would be the round of 16 for the open and the group stage round 5 and 6 for the juniors on Friday. So
Mhm.
Friday is a packed
Yeah.
day. So we'll see because I don't technically have that day off. So what I might do is just have either me or Vic might just have a computer up and running, and we just might be streaming it for you guys.
Yeah.
There might not be any commentary, so we'll see how it goes. At least for part of that day, I'll definitely be able to do the earlier stuff, or like it would be late Thursday night for us, but I'd definitely be able to do that, and then maybe some of the early stuff in the morning. But that 6 p.m. thing Vietnam time might be a stretch. We'll see. Like I said, depends on work. Saturday, if our seniors make it to the quarterfinals, that's 8 a.m. Vietnam time. So that's same thing. That'll be the Friday night. So should be able to do that. And then same thing, if our open team makes the quarterfinals, that's 10 a.m. Seniors will be semifinals at that point. And then open semifinals are 12. And then 2 p.m. is the open bronze. The
Oh
4
man.
p.m. is the junior semifinals. 6 p.m. is the juniors bronze match, and then Sunday it's just all. So I'm guessing they're just doing them back to back to back. So hopefully it starts at like a decent time, and then we can just go bang 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 if all of our teams make the finals.
Yeah, that would be great. But
Yeah,
at the same time, it's gonna be we have to stay late.
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna be sleep deprived for sure, but I can live
Oh
with that
man.
for I can live with that for 3 days. I'm fine. I'll make it work. So
Oh
yeah,
man.
so that's kind of the World Cup in a nutshell. Like I said, I'm gonna when I do this post production, I'll have the stuff up on the thing for everyone to view the schedules at. So and then once we know for sure what we're able to do for stream, we will post on our Instagram saying, hey, we're going live, and we'll probably post both Alberta time and Eastern time just to make it kind of easy for everyone to understand when we're going.
Especially I'm
Um,
on Eastern time at that time.
Yeah, actually that works perfect. Yeah, because Vic will be on Eastern time. I'll still be on Alberta time or General Mountain time if you want to use the proper term for it. Um, so so we are going to kind of play that by ear. I know we have to talk with Jason and figure out exactly what type of streaming stuff we have to download on our computers and
Yeah.
things like that. And like I said, because Vic's going to be in the process of unpacking his house, it
Mm,
just might be my computer the first day or two. So we'll see. Um,
yeah.
Either that or Vic's gonna have like just his computer set up and a bunch of boxes behind him for this, but I don't know if his wife will be okay with that. So,
Yeah, I don't think so. We'll see.
no, but we'll see. Here's hoping for a smooth transition for you, Vic. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for this episode, everyone. Keep an eye out for, like we said, all of those interviews. Support, like we said, put faces and voices to our players heading over. Support them as much as you can. I will post, I've had it in our description the last couple of episodes, but head over to teamcanadapickleball.ca.
Mhm.
I also have the link for the GoFundMe page. It's still opened up because any extra money, It's helped pay for flights. It's helped paid for some team gear. It's helped paid for the hotels. Let's get some meals
It
into these guys so they're fully charged for the
yeah,
event.
just anything helps, guys.
Yeah,
Anything help, please.
yeah, absolutely. Big shout out to actually Kling. They just did their fundraiser tournament for Team Canada. They had like 14 teams, 80 plus players, raked in a good amount of money for that. So shout out to Lily
Yeah,
and Kling for doing that. They just posted that just before we started recording. So shout out to Kling and everyone who attended and competed in that fun tournament.
yeah. Thank you
So
everyone for helping out, definitely.
yeah. So this is, like I said, this will probably be our last episode until probably like September 10th or 11th ish. At least regular episode. Like we said, we have the mini series coming out a bunch. I'm heading to nationals next weekend.
I'm
So you'll get a
moving
bunch of
to on.
yeah.
Yep.
Vic is moving, so Vic might be radio silent for a bit. Um, so Vic will be radio silent, but I'll be at nationals. And so I'll be posting some stuff from there, like how me and Irene are doing, how the team event is going. I'm actually, and by the looks of it, I am going to be a part of the broadcast group for the team event.
Nice.
Just figuring out because I don't know how many of us there are. I did my interview a couple days ago, and it went really well.
Nice.
And I'll know by the 18th. I think so. Yeah, the 18th. So basically, when this episode comes
in
out,
2 days.
what
Nice.
what the schedule is going to be for that, and I have to decide whether or not I'm going to do singles because my singles is the same day. My singles is the same day as the team event. So
Oh,
I already
man.
told them if like as far as scheduling works, it's like say if they need me there for the whole day, I told them I was willing to withdraw from the singles and do that because like I said, my legs could use a break because singles is hard.
Oh, yeah.
but
Oh, man.
but if we have a bunch of us on the commentary, I'll just ask for the morning shift because they've already sent us the start times and my singles is like 4 p.m.
I see.
So we'll see how it goes, but super excited to head to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Now it's just you want to hear here's a funny story for people because seeing how traveling and stuff, booking hotels is
Yeah.
expensive, right? So I went to book the one. We found a hotel which is like it's in a really good spot. It's like a 10-minute walk to the Vaughan Pickleplex,
Okay,
and
that's
it's
pretty
like
good.
and then in the opposite direction, it's like a 5-10 minute walk to the metro station, which you can jump on the subway, and the very next stop is the Downsview stop. And once you get
Okay,
off the train, it's literally like a 2-minute walk to the Downsview Pickleplex.
nice.
So it's in a really good spot. However, when we went to
Uh-oh.
book, because our flight gets in
Uh-oh.
on Sunday, right? Our
Yeah.
flight gets in on Sunday, so we were going to book Sunday to Sunday, and our flight leaving on the following Monday is like 6 a.m. So we were like,
Oh,
oh, okay, well, we'll finish. Irene will finish playing because she plays her women's is like the last day on the 31st or on the 30th or whatever.
yeah.
So we're like, she'll finish playing. We'll take the subway to like Pearson and we'll just kind of, have dinner and then just kind of hang out in the airport because there's no point in having a hotel and then leaving the hotel at like 5 in the morning or like
No.
4 in the morning, right? So we like, okay, we'll do that. Well, I go to book the hotel and I'm looking at the price and I'm like, this looks stupid expensive. You know how you can go through and it gives you the breakdown for each day?
Uh-oh.
Well, the Sunday we were going to arrive, the price was triple what every other day was. Do you want to know the reason why?
Why?
It's because there's a BTS concert that weekend in Toronto.
Ah, wow.
So what I did is I booked that hotel from Monday to Sunday, and I have a hotel at the airport for the Sunday.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, perfect.
Because I was like, and I
Oh,
saved myself
man.
about $250 because I was like,
Oh,
holy crap.
this is freaking ridiculous.
But
Oh,
no, but
man.
that's typical hotels. Anytime there's it would have been like booking a hotel during the World Cup when the World Cup was in Toronto,
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's gonna be
right?
freaking crazy.
But
Oh, man.
but it was funny because I glanced at it and I was like, that looks way more expensive than what it should because I think we got it for I want to say it was like 200 flat a night, which is pretty decent for like North York, Ontario, right
Yeah.
beside like really close to like Vaughan Metro and like you're one stop away from from Downsview. And for those of you who don't know, Downsview is like right where the soccer stadium is,
Oh, yeah.
right? So it's like so it's a busy and a popular spot to go, but
Oh man,
But
with
yeah,
the
so
BT,
we have
with
so we
the
just did one of
BTS
the
concert. Oh, forget
yeah,
it.
exactly, right. So yeah, we booked now the funny thing is with that is so we have the hotel at right beside the airport for the first night, but our games, the very first Monday is our mixed and it's 8 a.m. start time.
Oh man.
So I went to Arena, I was like, hey, we have two choices. We either get like an Uber or a Lyft to come pick us up at like 7 a.m. or probably 6:30 a.m.
Mhm.
Because like driving wise, it's only about they say about 35, 40 minutes. I'm gonna assume it's
It's gonna be
quicker
an
than that.
hour.
It's gonna be yeah, but I'm assuming for like if you do it like 6:30 in the morning, it's gonna be not as bad.
Ah, no, no, no.
But it's Monday
I'm
morning though,
strong.
so it's gonna be iffy, right? It's
Yeah.
either that or we gotta do like an early on the train. Now the nice thing is that the up train at Pearson starts super early, and you're not
Sure.
going to get a lot of traffic from that because it's the up, and that'll take you to Union.
Yep.
And then if we jump on the subway at Union, it's only like 4 stops to get to Downsview.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Now, what they list that as, they list that as about a 45 minute to an hour and 15-ish. But I wanted to avoid the rail car, like the rail cars. I was like, okay, if I have train and then subway, those are at least a little bit more consistent with their stop time, like their start and stop
Yeah,
times. You know what I
because
mean? They're not, they don't,
they
they,
shouldn't be caught by the traffic.
yeah, they don't get delayed by traffic as much, right? So that was the big thing with that. So I'm like, okay, it's either we find a lift that's willing to get us at like 6 o'clock in the morning or 6:20 in the morning, or we're waking up earlier to jump on the transit like the very
But
first one
then
because when I looked at it like because I think the earliest transit is like 5:45 a.m.
but then how are you gonna check out? That's the problem.
Oh, you just do early checkout. That's not a
Okay.
problem. That's not hard. But then we'll have to have our bags with us. Now we're not taking that much. It's literally like our two pickleball bags and like a carry-on suitcase each type thing. So it's not like you can't stick
Okay,
that
that's not
beside
too
the
bad.
court you're playing on, right? But we'll have to do that for our first when we do the round robin version of the age category
Yeah.
for our mixed, and then go after we're done, jump on the subway from Downsview, take it to Vaughan, and then go check into our hotel in Vaughan. Because
Oh man.
the Downsview Pickleplex is the main hub for
Yep.
the national. So like all of the 4 5 plus stuff and the team event is going to be at Downsview.
Okay.
Like when I looked at my thing, the only thing for me that would have been at Vaughan is my men's singles.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's the same for I haven't seen Irene's yet because I haven't looked at it yet, but I'm assuming it's going to be the same for Irene. So all of like my men's doubles, my mixed doubles are all at Downsview, and of course the team events at Downsview, right? So
Yeah.
I'm going to assume it's the same for Irene. So her women's, obviously her mixed with me, and then her singles. No, her singles will probably still be at Vaughn. I think Vaughn is basically doing all the singles and then the lower
Sure.
like 3.5 stuff,
Okay.
right? So
Yeah, you
that'll
don't. That's the problem with two facility all the time, right?
yeah. Now, like as far as like I'm thinking like so the big thing for me is during the team event. That's the thing. If I'm doing the broadcast, and
Yeah.
like I said, if I'm there the whole day, I'll just withdraw from the singles. Not a big deal. If they need me for the morning, I'll have plenty of time because, like I said, it's like a 2-minute walk to the subway station. You go from Downsview to Vaughan. From the Vaughan station to the Vaughan Pickleplex, it's like a 20-minute walk, which for me is nothing because I walk and run a lot. So like for me to have a pickleball bag on my back and then just walk like two city block,
It'll be a good
it's a
warm
good
up for
warm
you
up. Yeah, there's
anyway.
my warm up, right? Exactly, right. So I'm not too worried about it. And it's space, and it's like I said, the majority of my events are actually early in the morning. So I'm guessing they're doing like a lot. I think it's like 8 a.m., 8 a.m. And the only thing that's in the afternoon is like my men's singles. Everything else I think is an early start time.
Okay,
So the
that's
one
good.
so the one so the one nice thing is we'll get done early. So then if we want to catch a Jays game or something like that. And actually I was looking at the WNBA schedule. The Toronto Tempo are playing a home game the day we fly in.
Okay,
So
nice.
we fly in at like we get there at like 1 in the afternoon. The game's at 5. So I might ask Irene if she wants to go watch a Tempo game. So
That's a good idea.
and tempo games are I was looking at the prices for like decent seats. It's only like $85. So I was like, hey,
Oh,
in comparison to a hockey game,
oh, compared to freaking Raptors. Oh
yeah,
man.
exactly. That's dirt cheap. So I was like, hey, It's like I'll go pay like $85 to go cheer on Kia Nurse. Why not?
Exactly.
Right. So, but yeah, so that's the kind of fun tidbit so far for nationals. Like I said, I'll post a bunch of videos while we're there. Hopefully, me and Irene can bring home some hardware.
Yeah.
And there's
Good luck.
lots of other people from Alberta there. Like there's going to be so many of us there, which is nice. And then of course be cheering on Team Alberta. I have to be a little bit unbiased when I'm doing the commentary, but and actually I've seen the roster of some of the teams. Some of the teams are pretty good. Like Ontario's got Kyle Hermetz on it.
I saw that.
Because it's
Stephanie Kawamoto is the captain apparently.
Yeah, and Steph, yeah, and her husband or partner Mark is her mixed partner. We actually played Stephanie and Mark at last year's nationals. It was the game just before the bronze medal game, and we lost 15-13 against them. They're a really good team, and I'm assuming they're just getting better. So
yeah. You have to put in the words for me to definitely put a buck in their ears. Victor is around. So go get him. Go get him some games in Ottawa, please.
yeah. Do they live in Ottawa too, or is it just Matt?
I think they live in Ottawa. That's according to one of her family members that told me about that.
Oh, okay.
So I think so. They live in Ottawa. So anyway.
Yeah. Just grab the whole Kawamoto clan and get them to drill with you, Vic. You're not gonna have a bad game. They're all amazing players. So.
Yeah, for sure. But just like from myself, I'm a little annoyed right now. I was like, oh, how am I gonna do?
Yeah, exactly right. Anyways, everyone, that's it for this episode. Like we said, we'll see. We'll have a regular episode. Probably, like I said, more so around like September 9-ish. When we'll recap the CNPL season finale. Then we'll have another episode recapping nationals. Then we'll have another episode recapping World Cup. Depending on what happens in each, will kind of depend on which one we post first. It might be the World Cup episode first, to be honest, because it'll be the most recent and most kind of super relevant. And then we might do the CNPL, and then we might do the nationals one last. Okay. We'll see. Because if Canada all of a sudden medals in all 3 World Cup, we're going to want to talk about that first.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? You know what I mean? Like, so we'll see how it goes. But super excited for all the events, and like we said, we'll let you guys know as far as the streaming stuff happens. Once we work it out with Jason, what we're going to do with it. Until then, we'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to hit like. Don't forget to hit subscribe. And cheers.
Yeah, pray for me for going to Ontario's safe and sound in one piece.
Exactly.